welcome to Legend Lens, and today we're going to have a look at a very important topic in algebra, which is complex numbers. Okay, so let's get started. Alright, so when we say complex numbers, a lot of times in solving of mathematics or algebra, we come across square root of a negative number, say -1 or even -4. Okay, in secondary school we said these numbers were undefined and that we couldn't solve it, but then with complex numbers we could actually see how we deal with these negative numbers. Okay. Now we could actually see that negative square root of -4 is actually the same thing as square root of -1 by 4, and I can write this as -1 by root of root of 4, which we're going to have square root of -1 by 2. Alright, so with this, some people sat down and said, so why don't you represent this root of -1 by a unit? And that unit we call the imaginary unit. Okay, some books use I, others use J. Whichever one they use is the same thing they are talking about here. Alright, so we could actually represent this square root of -1 by the imaginary unit, which is I. And so with this, we can write this as 2I. It makes it look neater in that way. It makes it look very nice. And so this is what we call the complex number. In actual sense, it is this 2 which is the complex number, and it is scaled by this I, which is the imaginary unit. Whichever way is the complex number. Okay, now let's do the other way around and see what we actually get. The other way around, so that when we want to square this, okay, 2I squared, we're actually going to have 4I squared. Now from this, we said root of -1 is equal to I. When we square this one, we are actually going to get I squared being equal to -1. So you could actually replace this I squared by -1. And so you're going to get 2I all squared being equal to -4. So you can see it's actually the same from here. So you can see that root of -4 is 2I. That's as simple as that. So that's basically the idea of complex. Alright, so let's just play around with the I again. The imaginary unit. We said I squared is equal to -1, as you can see over here. Now, what if you have I3, or you are asked to find I3, I4, I20? Okay. Now, I think this is something that I think you should know. It's going to be a little bit useful. Okay, so with the I3, this I3 we can see is basically the same thing as I squared by I. And then we know I squared to be equal to -1. So in place of I squared, we get -1 by I. And that will give us -I. Okay. Similarly, with the I4, it is the same thing as I squared by I squared. So it becomes -1 by -1, which is equal to 1. This, I think you should take particular note of this one. I exponent 4 is equal to 1. That will help us find I20. Okay, so when you have I20, which is I20 is basically the same thing as I4 by 5. Okay, so you know this to be 1, and that is 1 exponent 5, which is 1. Simple as that. So that's basically the idea of complex numbers. Okay. Now, back in secondary school, when in solving of quadratic equation, we actually end up getting a number which actually have a real part and a complex number. It looks in the form of an a plus bi. Okay, as we used to see. Alright, now we can actually add and subtract, divide and multiply these complex numbers. So now I'm going to take you through the addition and subtraction of the complex numbers, and in subsequent videos we talk about the multiplication and division. Okay, so now let's continue. In adding of this, let's say this a plus bi, so I, well I, we could have c plus d I. Alright, so this first part becomes the real part and this the imaginary part. Okay, so in adding or in subtracting of these complex numbers, it's just a matter of adding or subtracting the real part and then adding or subtracting the imaginary part. And so with this we could have a plus bi, let's do the addition first, plus c plus di. Okay, and then it's actually going to give us a plus c plus b plus d all multiplied by I. So it's just a matter of adding the real parts, which is a and c, and then adding the imaginary part, which is b and d. That's basically how it is. And then with subtraction, the same thing, a plus bi minus c plus di. Okay, so subtract the real parts and also subtract the, sorry, this is b minus d multiplied by I, and then subtract the imaginary part. Okay, so that's basically how we add and then subtract these numbers. Okay, alright, let me just give a few examples and then that will be all for now. So you could actually have 3 plus 2i, then we have to add this to 4 plus 3i. So just a matter of adding the real parts. So 3 plus 4 plus 2i plus 3i, and this actually gives us 7 plus 5i. Similarly, if you have to subtract, then this is going to be 3 minus 4 plus 2i minus 3i. This is actually going to be negative 1 minus I. Alright, thank you guys. See you soon. Do want to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.